Hello, my name is Andrew, and today I'll be explaining to you why I feel like taxes and finances as a whole should be taught in high school and should be required in order to graduate. First and foremost, the main thing is finances as a whole can become very, very overwhelming and stressful, especially when it comes to taxes. Tax season is one of the worst seasons of the year, in my opinion, because you don't ever know if you're going to be getting money back on your tax return or if you're going to have to pay money in. However, one way that I believe could help with this in many, many young adults is them having to be required to take a class in order to graduate high school. Now, what should this class consist of? Well, first and foremost, it should consist of budgeting. Learning how to budget is a very, very, very good skill to learn and to be knowledgeable in and to know how to budget. You should be able to know how to balance out your bills, your gas, your groceries, your this, your that. Like anything that revolves around your money or has something to do with your money, you should be able to see it and balance it out to where you have more income than you have outcome. You should be spending less than you're making, ideally, to save as much money as possible. However, yes, there are times whenever that's not necessarily possible, but having a budget does help, and I believe that many young adults would benefit from it. Now, according to the National Financial Educators Council, a majority of young adults reported that they feel unprepared and struggle with handling their own finances, especially whenever it comes to taxes. Now, without this knowledge, students, whenever they enter adulthood, they are very confused and overwhelmed. Now, a lack of knowledge can lead to costly mistakes. With that being including missed tax refunds, you could actually be owed a lot more than what you actually get on your tax refund. I know me personally, I haven't been the greatest at doing my taxes. I've had to have my father help me a lot with my first few years of doing it, and I have learned a few things, and I've also made mistakes that I've learned from. The Internal Revenue Service provides resources that shows many first-time filers when it comes to taxes. It shows that many of them make very common errors, such as filling out incorrect forms or missing deadlines. These mistakes can cost people time and money. If you do not file on time, this year was April 15th. If you did not file before April 15th, there's a very high chance that you had a fee that you had to pay along with your taxes. Now, if you were lucky and got a tax return, so you were getting money back, then it more than likely came out of that. Research from the Council of Economic Education shows that students who receive financial education are more likely to make more informed financial decisions as adults. What does this mean? Well, this means that they make more logical decisions and make better decisions whenever it comes to their taxes and money, and making sure that they're doing what's right, first off, and second, doing everything correctly. That way the IRS does not come after them for collections. According to Jumpstart Coalition for Personal Finance Literacy, financial literacy among high school students remains low, highlighting the need for more comprehensive education. Me personally, I took a class in high school called, I think it was business math, and it had to do with finances. You learned about checking accounts, savings accounts, all of that when it comes to banking, writing a check, knowing what to look for in a faulty check. But none of it covered taxes. And I feel like that's one place that I feel if it had been covered, it would make a lot more sense to me. Now, especially with like interest and stuff, which they did cover, that did help me a lot. However, that class was not required to graduate. That was an elective. I could have taken any other class and got that same credit. I could have taken an economics course or agriculture just to get that extra, or cosmetology just to get that extra elective credit. However, if this is a required subject to take, or required class to take, and you have to have the credit for that full class, I believe that many teens and young adults, whenever they start having to file taxes and writing out a budget for the first time, will be a lot more confident and a lot more confident and a lot less overwhelmed whenever it comes to dealing with this money situation. So first and foremost, I believe it should be, I think it should be required in order to finish high school, because that would just give students a head start into the adult life whenever they're leaving school and going to get jobs, even if they go to college. Balancing the college tuition and finances and stuff is very, very crucial there also.